Welcome to Eco 103. This is study session 5. Oil resources and the Nigerian economy. Introduction. Oil is one of the numerous energy sources in Nigeria. It is also the current mainstay of the Nigerian economy. We shall therefore discuss its contribution from a holistic standpoint in this study session. We shall also highlight the issues in this sector and examine some organizations in this industry. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to show how oil has contributed to the Nigerian economy, present the key issues in the oil sector, highlight the roles of key organizations in the oil sector. Contributions of petroleum to Nigerian economy. We will examine this section under two headings: positive contributions and negative contributions. Positive contributions of petroleum to Nigerian economy. According to Uidlc 2004, the massive increase in oil revenue as a result of the Middle East War of 1973 created an unprecedented, unexpected, and unplanned wealth for Nigeria. In order to make the business environment conducive for new investments, the government began investing the newfound wealth in socio-economic infrastructure across the country, especially in the urban areas. As well, the services sector witnessed growth. Naira, the Nigerian national currency, became strengthened as foreign inflow outweighed outflow, and the country's foreign reserves were built up. Until 1985, the Naira was stronger than the US dollar. Table 7.1 shows the sectoral contribution to GDP of the key sectors of the Nigerian economy. In 1969, agriculture contributed 64.1, manufacturing 4.8, crude oil 0.3, others 30.8. In 1970, agriculture contributed 47.6%, manufacturing 8.2%, crude oil 7.1%, others 37.1%. In 1980, agriculture contributed 30.8%, manufacturing 8.1%, crude oil 22%, others 39%. In 1990, agriculture contributed 39%, manufacturing 8.2%, crude oil 12.8%, others 40%. In the year 2000, agriculture contributed 35.7%, manufacturing 3.4%, crude oil 47.5%, and others 13.4%. The data above shows that crude petroleum has maintained a steady increase in its contribution to the Nigerian GDP. It only assumed a downward trend in 1990 and later recovered and made the highest contribution to GDP in the year 2000. Indeed, oil resources have been contributing largely to the Nigerian GDP. More so, inadequate supply of oil resources constrains industrial and social activities and result in high economic and social costs. Indeed, the level of oil production and consumption are important indices of the state of industrialization and or development of any nation. Uidlc 2007 maintained that petroleum and natural gas sector accounted for about 44% of GDP in 2003, contributed to over 95% and 70% of export earnings and total government revenue, respectively. But employed only around 5% of the labor force. It is also a major contributor to Nigeria's energy needs. 43% of energy consumption in 2002 was met from petroleum products, excluding natural gas. The negative contributions of oil resources to the Nigerian economy. Despite the massive positive contributions of oil resources to the growth of the Nigerian economy, it equally has negative contributions. 1. The black gold drove Nigeria into a mono economy. Agriculture, which used to be the mainstay of the economy, becomes relegated to the background. 2. Oil industry is a capital-intensive industry and as such does not perform satisfactorily well in the recruitment, training, and consequent utilization of local manpower. 3. Increase in the price of oil products affects the cost of profitability of many Nigerian firms, as well as the welfare of a vast number of Nigerians. 4. Oil exploration in Nigeria has caused soil, water, and air pollution in many parts of the country, and this is one of the major causes of the Niger Delta crisis. 5. The oil boom of the early 1970s encouraged import-oriented consumption habits that soon turned Nigeria into a perennial net importer, which became a major problem when oil earnings decreased with lower international oil prices. In addition, external reserves collapsed, fiscal deficit mounted, and external borrowing ensued with the jumbo loans taken in 1979. Most of Nigeria's macroeconomic indices became unstable and worrisome. Key issues in the oil sector. Oil and gas sector, as contained in the needs document, is seen as an external sector because there is no link between it and other sectors of the Nigerian economy. The key issues requiring attention in this sector include the following. 1. Low local content level and community unrest in locations of proven reserves. 2. Absence of indigenous technical know-how and a deficit capacity building program. 3. Multiplying of legislation's infrastructure. 4. Absence of an independent industry regulator for the various subsectors. 5. Inefficiency and widespread fraud. 6. Poor safety and regulation system. 7. Inadequate financing arrangement for operations. 8. Petroleum product supply constraints, including the inadequate local refining and distribution capacity. 9. Lack of value-adding activities and processes. Organizations in the petroleum industry. Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. The Nigerian National Oil Corporation, NNOC, was established by a decree promulgated in 1971 to enable the Nigerian government to strengthen its control of the oil industry. On the 1st of April 1977, NNOC became merged with the Ministry of Petroleum Resources to give birth to what is today known as Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. NNPC has the mandate of overseeing all activities of all the companies licensed to engage in oil activities in Nigeria so as to ensure their compliance with the relevant laws, regulations guiding the oil sector. In addition to these, NNPC is supposed to see to the successful conduct of all Nigeria's petroleum business. Whether this duty is indeed being carried out by the NNPC or not is an issue that begs for an unbiased investigation. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. OPEC came into being following the 10th to 14th September 1960 meeting of Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela, which was held in the capital of Iraq, Baghdad. The meeting was convened to discuss how these countries could protect their mutual interests and to counter the atrocious act of foreign oil companies who produce and sell oil only in accordance with their own interests and dictate to their governments' foreign policies. Ever since its creation, OPEC has ensured that the activities of these foreign oil companies are curtailed and that the downward trends in the crude oil prices are forestalled. These acts attracted some oil-producing countries to the membership of OPEC. Qatar became a member in 1961, Indonesia and Libya in 1962, United Arab Emirates in 1973, Algeria in 1963, Nigeria in 1971, Ecuador and Gabon in 1973. Summary. In this study session, you learned that crude oil was first discovered in commercial quantities in Nigeria in 1956, while actual production started in 1958. It became the dominant resource in the mid-1970s. That oil as an energy resource affects all modes of transportation, that is air, rail, road, and sea, and thus has obvious implications on the movement of goods and people. That development in the oil sector also have major implications for industrial production, as oil and its derivatives are used in the production of goods and services. How organizations were established to strengthen the control of oil industry. This is the end of study session 5. Thanks for listening.